What up, everyone? We're gonna do blue versus red, and yes, it's Acronis versus Comodo. I thought I'd do Acronis again. It's been a while since I've tested it, and it's obviously like a all-in-one type of solution, malware protection, backup, and things like that. So it is quite a unique type of product. Okay, let's have a quick squiz at the settings. Okay, so for active protection, we do have the anti-ransomware protection module that's enabled. Pretty much selected everything. Let's maybe try that feature. Illicit crypto mining, real-time protection, on access, quarantine, and we're using the new experimental option. See what that does. Web filtering, we're obviously going to test that, and it's to block and notify. Antivirus scan, full scan is disabled. I don't want scans to run during the test. We used the 150 standard as sizes to scan up until 150. Vulnerability assessments done. And then we have under advanced settings, I have deselected to do automatic updates for now. I want to do a manual update before we start the scan. Start the test. Once the updates are done, I'll change it back to automatic. So then that will do updates during the test. And then we obviously have one exclusion, and that is for our little script. So that is that. This is the latest Bolt version, 40278. Should show it here as well, 40278. Okay, cool. So I did this update about a day or two ago. So this is a fairly new Bolt version, I think. And I think that's that for Acronis. Let's move over to Comodo. Let's get into the advanced settings. Okay, so under updates, I did select 1 hour and to use full signatures. Real-time scan, pretty much as strong as it can go. Scans, also full scan to not run it automatically. Firewall. Pretty much everything's enabled. Default rules didn't change anything here, still the same stuff that the program comes built in with. Heaps did enable heaps to a block request. Advanced monitoring settings is to monitor everything. Standard heap rules except for the script. Standard rules. Everything is standard. Now with containment, I set it to automatic contain, otherwise there's going to be too many pop-ups to manually do it. So it must do it automatically for all the unknowns. And then these are the default rules. I didn't add any additional rules. There's no rule for the script, because if we do add the script in auto containment, there's a good chance that auto containment might not block or contain anything coming from the script. So I've not added it here, because then that might be a mistake to do. File rating, pretty much everything's enabled, but we don't trust trusted installers. That's a default rule I also do across the board. Okay, virus scope recognizes for crypto, and this one is enabled. Monitor everything. Scan exclusions, this is the default ones, haven't changed anything. Script, pretty much all of them are enabled. I didn't add additional ones. Same for the auto runs, still default settings there. And we set the action to quarantine and disable, and then website filter is enabled. There's no exclusions, and I would say that's that for Comodo. Okay, so let's get the real-time shields disabled for both these products. I'm just going to pause this one. I'm going to disable them so that we can get the malware extracted and then start this test. Okay, and the malware is finally extracted. Let's have a look at our sample count. It's quite a bit high today. 3,200. Okay, so the malware has been extracted. So we have quite a high sample count today. It is 3,291. Okay, so we have all sorts of flavors. Obviously, the majority are applications, but we do have some ISO images, some Java, HTML, Office documents, PDFs, PowerPoint, the new OneNote malwares as well, PowerShell, so fileless malware, some zippers, and yeah, so pretty much all the flavors, so that we can test how good they are to detect every type of malware. So before we start, let's make sure that they clean and there's no funny business. Okay, Comodo is clean. Okay, Comodo is clean as well. I'm just gonna put it back into safe mode. Everything is closed, so let's get the protection going. Put it back to stateful. Okay, website filtering is enabled, virus scope is enabled, HIPS is in safe mode, containment enabled, firewalls in safe mode, and antivirus is in stateful as well. Okay, let's quickly have a look here. I think while I'm here, let's quickly check for updates. Okay, so there's a new version, so we'll quickly download the Acronis one, we'll wait a bit and then we'll start the test. Okay, so Acronis is up to date, so you guys can see protections are refreshed. So check again. Okay, cool. So I'm going to put it back to automatic updates, as I've said before. So we'll save that. I was maybe thinking of putting it in stateful. I'm going to put it on access. On access does provide a little bit more protection, but it does add more resources. So let's see what happens. I don't think I've tested Comodo antivirus on access. I think I've always just left it on stateful because that's the default setting. So let's see, let's make it on access, let's see what happens. Okay, you guys can see containment's enabled, HIPS is in safe mode, virus scope's enabled, antivirus enabled, firewalls enabled. Let's go to HIPS. Okay, it's enabled, 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 enabled. Okay, cool, so I think we're ready to rock and roll. Acronis is also ready, so let's close these two. Okay, so now obviously the first test will be the website test. Okay, so obviously Comodo contained the script, which is good. So we'll see the results in containment, and then I'm going to disable containment and then just run it normally so we can see the difference. And we'll block this one, block that one. Okay. So we'll keep that one, we'll keep this one. I'm just going to restart this download, so let's see what happens. Okay, so Acronis is definitely blocking some threads here. Okay, so this one slipped through. So translate. Okay, doesn't seem like anything's happening on that one. Okay, so I think now that it's in containment, it's not going to do much. Okay, so let's quickly do this. I think we might need to disable HIPS as well. I don't think I created an exclusion for the website. Okay, so I've enabled the protection again. Okay, cool. So now it's opening up normal. So we have this warning from Comodo. So let's see what happens. Keep that one. Yeah, I think Acronis is done. Comodo is still loading some pages. Okay, so nothing downloaded, so that's good. Comodo downloaded 3 files, 2 images and 1 application. So by the looks of it, seems Acronis did a little bit better than Comodo in the website test. We obviously have this one thing downloading, opening. Okay, so 3 versus 0. So that's a win for Acronis. Luckily these are just images. Could be steganography involved, but the images on its own is not going to do much. You still need your script or whatever to extract the malware from the image. But yeah, we do have this application. I'm going to open this application during the malware test as well. Let me just clear the containment quickly. Okay, so let's open this malware and see what happens. Okay, so Windows also doesn't like it, and Comodo did block it, and there it is quarantined. Okay, cool. So now it's actually 2 versus 0, so only 2 images. So it's actually not bad. Oh, seems like our website thing didn't finish. My bad. Okay. Now for the main event, I think the one that everybody wants to see is the malware execution. As you guys can see, we are still clean. Let's move it that way. Okay, so let's start this bad boy. I think Heaps might still be blocking this. Yeah, Heaps is still blocking our script, although it's excluded. Okay, so Heaps is not having this. Let's maybe remove it and let's just re-add it. Sorry guys. There's always some fun and games in the tests. We say it's an allowed application. Okay, Comodo's already removing the threads. Let's try this again. Nope, still doesn't like it. Okay, we might need to disable it quickly. Okay, so I've paused it. Let's re-enable Heaps safe mode. Okay, so everything is enabled. Comodo being Comodo. Okay, so a lot of threads are being blocked. That's good. I don't see anything running as of yet. Let's open the containment process viewer so we can see what's happening. Okay, so we've got a couple of zips. Let's see what happens. What's happening up? Yeah, so a couple of things are opening, but not bad as of yet. Okay, cool. I'm gonna just let me deal with this stuff, and then I'll let you guys know if there's anything weird or interesting happening. But yeah, as you guys can see, Comodo and Acronis is dealing with malware. So yeah, so let's see what happens, and I'll let you guys know. Okay, and the test is finally completed. I only have this malware here. Let's just quickly install it, or program, whatever it is. Yeah, so that one crashed. Okay, so while we wait, let's quickly check what is happening. Okay, let's see if, okay, cool. So this is installing on Acronis. Okay, while we wait for Acronis, let's quickly just check on active processes, what's running in containment. Not that much, only 14 processes. But yeah, we do have a couple of stuff here. I think they have all been submitted. Yeah. Okay, so we have a couple of things here in containment. Let's quickly check. I'm just going to close everything. I've had this one before, I think. If you say restart later, it actually does still reboot. So that's actually why I don't want to do that before I've shown you guys the results. Okay, so let's close that. Okay, so programs that are installed on the Acronis machine, we obviously have Apple's Bonjour, we have Crystal Disk Mark, Update DevTools, Moon Launcher, MS Stable, Update Wizard, and Opera Browser. Let's quickly check for Comodo. We only have Crystal Disk Mark, and that's it. But I think this was part of the original install, so yeah, so minus that one. So only Crystal Disk Mark and Opera Browser, so not bad. And let's quickly check if anything is running. Okay, so with Comodo we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, couple of malware, but let's quickly clear the containment. Okay, and there's all our open stuff has disappeared. Okay, containment's been reset. There's nothing here anymore. Okay, according to Process Explorer, we still have 1, 2, maybe 3 things still running. Let's close that one. Okay, let's see if this one has responded. No, not. Okay, that's a bit weird. Let's try it again. Okay, while we wait, let's quickly look at our startup items. It's only Opera Browser, and that's that, I would say. Okay, cool. So only Opera Browser is in the startup. Let's look over Acronis. Okay, it's a bit slow. Okay, you guys can see Acronis is a bit on the slow side. So with Comodo we have 2,387 unrecognized files. Okay, startup items. There's definitely something weird on the Acronis machine. Okay, documents. Okay, we only have this one funny file in here, but it's got no size. Pictures. Seems good. And downloads, a couple of files downloaded during the test. Okay, we are definitely not responding on this side. Let's say reboot later. Okay, so startup items, finally it's showing. So we've got item screen recorder, then we've got Opera browser, then we've got the site tech, and that's about it. So only and then this one, so there's about 4 startup items from 4 different programs. We'll close that. Opera browser is still installing for some reason. Okay, so Acronis is definitely on the slow side. Okay, I'm gonna speed this test up. I'm gonna reboot these 2 machines, but you guys can see there's definitely slowness to this machine, and there was stuff still running. I would have liked to show it, but this machine is just really slow. Let's try Task Manager again. But yeah, as you guys can see, no damage to the desktop. It's just these funny icons, or they're just not displaying their thumbnails. So let's see. Okay, so it's really slow. Okay, I'm gonna reboot this machine. You guys would have noticed quickly that in Task Manager there was a program running, which was one of the malware. But yeah, let's quickly get these machines rebooted. This one is exceptionally slow. Get them rebooted, updated, and then we will start full scans. Okay guys, so the full scans are completed. Let's quickly look at the scan report. So 192 malicious files were quarantined. So we'll look at them. Okay, so here's a couple of files that were quarantined. So the full scan is done. Comodo's full scan is done. 847 objects were quarantined. Okay, so now that the full scans are completed, let's just, for interest, I just see how many malware is left. So 135 in this folder, but obviously there's a as the malware executes, it creates additional files within this folder. So 135. Let's quickly see what Comodo has. I think there's still going to be a little bit more. Yeah, so we still have 1,526 items in this folder, which is still quite a lot. But obviously Comodo will start removing later on as the signatures gets available. But it doesn't seem like it's removing anything. Okay, so seems like all these files are still unknowns. Okay, cool. So scans are done. Let's quickly reboot these machines, and then we will start third-party opinion scans. Okay, guys. So all the results are in. So let's quickly have a look-see. With Acronis, we do have app data roaming. Then we have the Moon Launcher, the one program that installed. Then we have app data roaming Microsoft Corporation. And then app data again, and app data again, and app data again. So these 2 are suspicious, but according to Heatmap Pro, these 4 are malware. We only have 1 suspicious file, which is the Opera browser, the same one for Acronis, according to Heatmap Pro. Okay, Norton Power Razor is complaining about that same Python, app data roaming, the same Moon Launcher, MS Stable. Okay, so there's a couple of problems here. NPE is only complaining about 2 files in the downloads folder. So it's JavaScript files, only in the downloads folder, nowhere else, so that's good. We'll close that. We have app data roaming, library file. Then we have, it's not showing. There's that same web UI, and then we've got a registry key that's related to an auto run. Okay, according to MSISoft, no problems on the Comodo machine. Okay, then we've got a Trojan spy, which is that MS stable that the other vendors also picked up. And then we've got a app that same web UI, so we've got two problems here. It's going to move this out of the way, we can't close it. Okay, no problems on this one. And then with Malwarebytes, we do have that same program data folder. Then we've got this Trojan task scheduler, and then a couple of registry key entries, but they're all Trojans. On the Comodo machine, we have one PUP, which is related to, let's see, PC App Store. So we've got one PUP, so no malware, so that's good. We'll close that. And let's quickly see what Process Explorer has to say. And then we can look at the files as well. Okay, so downloads, these are the problems that Norton picked up. So this is malware downloaded from HTMLs and things like that. Let's do the Process Explorer quickly. Okay, so no files in the download, so that's good. No issues with the documents, and seems like no issues with the pictures. Documents, we do have this one file here, but it's got no size. And then we look at our pictures. Our picture seems good. Let's quickly see if there's anything that installed or what we can see on the programs. Yeah, then we need to do the startup items. Okay, so programs that we can see on the program files is Bonjour, Crystal Disk, the Moon Launcher, the MS Stable, and the SciTech, and a Update Wizard. On the Comodo machine, we have Crystal Disk and Opera, and that's it. Okay, cool. So I'm assuming that Crystal Disk and Opera Browser are the legitimate programs, and it was just used to infiltrate the machine, but it seems like they might be the legitimate programs. Okay, I'll close that. Look at startup items. Okay, so on Acronis we have this auto LT. We've got the iTop screen recorder, which we've seen before, Opera Browser, SciTech. On the Comodo machine, I only see Opera Browser. That's not supposed to be there, so yeah, okay, cool. So good results. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so we have the same issue again. Let's reload everything. Okay, so we're just going to quickly go through it manually then. Okay, so we obviously have the Opera Browser and the iTop screen recorder. And then we have this one, but it seems to be, I think, broken. And let's see what's on the Comodo machine. Okay, yeah, so that seems good. So it seems like there's no issues there. And yeah, I would say this is the end of this test, guys. So let's quickly recap. Acronis, I would say not bad results from Acronis, considering it's not such a very popular program, and it has definitely done better than some other vendors that are more popular. So yeah, I would say still good results from Acronis. We do obviously, unfortunately, have forms of IOCs on this machine, But needless to say, luckily there's no ransomware infection, and the infections that it does have doesn't seem to be that severe. Obviously no infection is better than a small form of infection, but at least there's no ransomware infection, and you might be able to clean up this machine with the third-party vendor scanners. But obviously they are also only showing the results that they are able to pick up, so there might be something on this machine that none of these vendors are picking up. You never know. But yeah, so I would say still good results from Acronis. Unfortunately, there are a couple of startup items, registry keys, and malware outside of our normal locations, but not bad at all. So I would say still good results from Acronis. On the Comodo side, I would say also very good results from the Comodo machine. We have no startup items. That's malicious. We obviously have startup items that I'm still rating as PUPs, like Crystal Disk and Opera Browser. But still, that's not a train smash. You can just uninstall them. But we've got no malware or suspicious startup items, no ransomware infection, no malware infection outside our normal locations. We do still have malware in the downloads folder, but they've been uploaded to Comodo, so as soon as there's a verdict for it or a rating, Comodo will just remove those threads. But even if you still run them, they will just go back in containment. So all in all, they still won't pose any threat to this machine, as the containment will just contain them. But yeah, I would say good results. Acronis did a little bit better in the website test for me, but you can see significantly better on the Comodo side when it comes to the malware test. So yeah, good results from Comodo. This is obviously not the latest Internet Security Pro. They are working on the newer version. So as soon as that becomes available to me as well, I'll obviously test the new version. But this is the latest version, so the new 2023. We'll test that as soon as that is released. But yeah, so good results from them both. Let me know what you guys thought about the test. I think this was really informative. Good results from them both, but Comodo is obviously the clear winner. And yeah, I'll be working on some other tests. I'll be doing some business tests again, because I've been doing a couple of home tests now for a while, so I'm going to jump back into the business tests. I did manage to obtain a business license for Malwarebytes, so that's going to be a first time for me testing it. We obviously still have business licensing for ESET and Exitium. I'm working on a business license for Bitdefender as well. So yeah, so a couple of new products I haven't tested before, business wise, Malwarebytes and Bitdefender, so hopefully I can test that soon. I do already have the license for Malwarebytes, so I'll set up that VM. Bitdefender, I'm just waiting for the license, paid license. And yeah, so then I'll be testing some other business products as well. I'm obtaining some licenses for other vendors again. So yeah, so hopefully I can test business products again. But until then, I'll test home products, and I'll get to your test. And yeah, so thanks again guys for watching. Like and share the videos if you do like it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next test.